Hey all, we are going through the searching steps on how we find literature, and I'm actually starting you with what I told you not to use, which is Google Scholar, because the one time that it may come in handy is if you're doing a hand search and you know exactly what you are looking for. That's when I would recommend using Google Scholar. Let's just try a keyword search and I'll show you what happens here. So let's try occupational therapy and hospice. Okay, we'll search for that. We have 381,000 articles, but this one that popped up first, sure, that one looks pretty good. It's actually a book because it says Taylor and Francis. So I'm going to go to the second one here, and let's see what we can find with this. Now, here's what I would recommend you use Google Scholar for. It's great for citations, so you can click on Cite, and look at that, it has APA for you. I will caution you that it's not always correct. So sometimes they add extra capitalizations or they don't have the italics in the right place, or in this case, they don't have the DOI. So you need to make sure that you correctly follow all of APA 7 and make sure that you have, the correct edition, and make sure that you have all the parts there. Okay. So I'm going to take you now to do a library search. So here at UIndy, we just go to our my.uindy.edu page, log in using your UIndy login. Then you go to the library. I'm going to take you through all the steps so that you can see exactly what this looks like. So here I am on the library page. It actually took me in a little ways down, so I'm going to scroll up. And here it says Krannert Memorial Library, and see right here where it says databases. Click on that. You don't want journals. You don't want to look in like just one journal. You want to look in databases. So choose a database. Now, it's going to list you 1 million databases here, okay? It's not really a million, but it's actually several dozen. So what I'm going to do to get me into this, I'm just going to click on one. So I like CINAHL. It actually specifically is for OT. We're going to click on that, and it's going to take us into the databases. Now, when you get here at the search page in EBSCOhost, remember, this is the host for the searching. This is not the search engine. It is not the journal database itself. CINAHL is our database, okay? I'm already logged into my EBSCO. You will want to log into my EBSCO. It's in this upper right-hand corner. So you will want to do that. You just click on login and then log in with your Google and choose your UIndy Google account, and it should take you right into it. That allows you to save your searches. Okay, so now I've got my one database that I'm using. I'm only searching with one database. If I wanted to add another, I could just click on this and it would list all my databases, and I could choose another one. I'm not going to do that right now. I'll hit cancel. What I am going to do is I'm going to go to all fields and I'm going to click on all text. I personally find that I get better results if I go to all text, so that it's not searching the author field or anything that's along the margins or whatever. It is searching the text of the article. So in this case, well, let's start with a faceted search. I am going to search for just occupational therapy. There we go. And I'm not going to use these OR operators right now. I'm just going to use occupational therapy, and I'm going to hit search. Okay. 102,000 articles. That is a lot of articles. I do not need those articles, all saved. This first one that comes up, I was playing around with this. I saved it. It's got a little tab right there. If I wanted to save this search, see the little three dots over here? Go to Search Actions. I click on Save Search. I have now saved my search. It's going to make me just come down here and click Save. I'm going to close out of this. Okay. I have done a search with one item. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to Advanced Search. And I'm searching all text, and I'm going to change this to, this time I'm going to use palliative care. And again, I'm not using the OR operators right now. I'm just using palliative care. I'm going to hit search. So just using palliative care, I have 102,000 articles. Again, I'm going to save my search. It'll take just a second here. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to close out of this. Each time I do this, I'm recording on my search documentation sheet what I have done and how many hits I've got. Now, I've done 2 searches in my faceted search. I'm going to go to recent activity. I'm actually going to delete what's in the search bar. And I'm going to combine my search 1, which was occupational therapy alt text, and search 2, palliative care alt text. So now I'm going to combine them with and. Search 1 and search 2 is up here in the bar. I'm going to go over here to the little magnifying glass. I'll click on that and it's going to search. I do not have any filters in there yet. It's cut me down to 2,246 articles. Notice it is searching all time. So I will record this search and then I'm going to go to all time and I'm going to go past 5 years. And let's see what that takes me down to, 713. I am not going to choose full text. Why? Because the library can get me anything full text. I don't need that. Source type, I'm going to cut this down to academic journals. That takes out about another 100. All right. And I want peer reviewed. We'll click that on. That's going to take me down to about 624. Still too many for me to look at. But if I now go back up to my search bar, by the way, I like this first one. I'm going to save that. I'm just going to click on this little bookmark over here, and it's going to go into my saved folder over here. So now I know, oh, I've got at least 1 article saved, and I'm not going to look through all 600. What I am going to do is go back to my search bar. I'll go to advanced search and take out search 1 and search 2. And this time, I'm going to put this back on all text. I'm going to search interventions. Okay. What have I got? I've got 258,000. That's a lot, right? Because intervention is a very broad topic. But now I go back to my recent activity and I cross-reference S1 and S2, which I just did, with, and that was the filtered version, with my intervention. Okay, that's going to be combined with and, treatment intervention and S6 and S7. Actually, I don't want S6. I just want S7. Let me see if I can do this. All right. Now we're just going to hit search. Oh, still too many. Okay, not sure how I managed that. Let me try this one more time with recent activity. Maybe I did want search 6 and search 7. Okay, let's try that again. Treatment intervention, S1, yeah, that is what I want. S6 and S7, and we'll combine with and, perfect. Hit my magnifying glass. See, sometimes I make mistakes too. Let's find out what we've got. 450. And now we'll add our filters, past 5 years, peer reviewed, journal articles. Yeah, we're still at 450. Okay, so we can still narrow that down a little further. Maybe we put in equipment. But right now, we can at least begin perusing these 450 articles and seeing which, see, here's one on improving outcomes. That sounds really interesting. So we already have a few articles, but you don't want to just take the top 5 and move on. You need to be able to find everything. This is a case, though, where we would need to narrow our search a little bit more. So now we're going to go back to our advanced search and we're going to change our database to Medline. So I'm going to delete CINAHL and I'm going to go down here to Medline. And let's take a look at these mesh terms, these subject headings, okay? So now I'm in Medline. I'm going to clear this. And right down here, there's this little tab that says Mesh Subject Headings. and I want it to search for terms, okay? So I'm going to try palliative care. We'll search for that, and we'll see what their terms are. Palliative medicine, palliative care. All right, I like palliative care. That's what I'm going for. Okay, I could narrow that down even further. Right now we're just going to stick with that. Palliative care. Okay, got our mesh subject heading. We're going to go all text again. Now I also want to see, what do they use for occupational therapy? Occupational therapy. Not surprising. Okay, so we'll add occupational therapy. Yep. And I'm going to give you an example of perhaps going too narrow. We're going to add one more search term, adaptive equipment. Let's see what the mesh terms recommend. Equipment and supplies. Equipment and supplies, hospital. Electrical equipment and supplies. What if we explode this? What do we get? Oh, lots of different stuff. We don't necessarily want all those things. Let's go for the major concept and see what we can do. So we can restrict the search by going into a little bit more detail, but we just want equipment and supplies. So I'm going to use their term. Actually, let's fix my spelling here. Equipment and supplies. Now we're going to hit our search. So we're now searching Medline using the mesh headings. 51. Hey, not too bad at all, right? So we have some different articles here, some of which look like they could be helpful, and some of which may not be. Scoping a review of patient and caregiver's experience, maybe, but what we're really looking for is outcomes. Is this adaptive equipment what we want? So we've got academic journal. Let's see though, can we also filter for age? So age right here, if we want all adult, okay, let's apply that. And now we have 10, okay? So we're getting a little more narrow of what we want. So that's an example of using a mesh search rather than just a serendipitous search or a keyword search, okay? A couple of the things I want to point out. Go to the AOTA.org, log in to your AOTA, then go to Publications. I'm going to click on All Publication Resources over here on the left, and then I can go to AJOT, but I can also go to external journals. So if I want to search the British Journal of Occupational Therapy, right now it's telling me that I'm not signed in. I can fix that. And now it's going to show me the journals. Okay, so if I wanted to search Canadian Journal, now I can do a keyword search in the Canadian Journal of Occupational Therapy and Palliative Care. And I've got 182. All right, that's a lot. So we can probably narrow that down a little further. We got research articles, only 140. Editorials and such are in there as well. So we can just click on research article, and that's going to help us narrow it down. And I would want to search each one of those databases. Another place to look is under Practice, All Practice Resources. Then go to Practice Essentials in AOTA. And I'm going to go to Evidence-Based Practice and Knowledge Translation. And now I can find practice guidelines and evidence. And under here, I might be looking at, I don't want children and youth. I want adults, not necessarily with neurological condition. Let me see if there's a search bar up here. Practice guidelines. All right, we can try searching in the search bar, but I think that takes us back to everything. But practice guidelines tell us about practice in a certain area. Let's try just searching the page for hospice. Nope. Not palliative either. Okay, so we would have to do a little bit of more nosing around here to see if there's any information, and I believe there is. So we would just need to do a little more looking into this. Maybe chronic conditions, that might be appropriate. We can also go to our critically appraised topics and our intervention ideas. So these are more topics and literature that experts have already gathered for us. So here's education and training interventions for caregivers of people with chronic conditions. That actually might fit with our hospice care. So there's some ideas for us to look at. One more thing you're going to want to look at are some of the websites and databases that are already collected for you that are gray literature. So clinicaltrials.gov is a website that lists registered clinical trials that are in progress. So if someone were already doing something on palliative care, that's not really a condition or disease, so I would put that under other terms. Okay, and then intervention treatment, let's put occupational therapy there. Let's see what we come up with. We have got 22 studies that are up and coming in occupational therapy, and there's something here about pain, so that would be interesting to look at. OT and palliative care. There's some good stuff here that is maybe not out yet. Maybe these are just protocols for research, but we can look and see what's in the works for occupational therapy. The Cochrane database is something that contains literature reviews already available and systematic reviews on topics. So let's try palliative care here. And here we go, 115 Cochrane reviews have palliative care in the title abstract keyword. So there's different ones with dementia, terminally ill adults, adults with advanced cancer. And so we can just skim through and see which of these seem most appropriate for the topic that we want. So it isn't until we search in all these different ways that we can say that we have searched the literature on our particular topic. If we're finding like 6,700 different items, then we know that we are probably need to narrow our topic a little bit, right? So we can do that. If we're not finding very much at all, let's say we only found 4, then we might need to expand our topic a little bit, look in something a little bit broader. But actually, if we only find a few things, that actually might be good news because maybe the study that we want to do has not been done yet. But you need to search in all these ways to see that you've exhausted the literature. Now, yes, you will find duplicates. Something that you find in one database might be found in another, and that's where it helps to have a team to be able to compare. And that's where it also might help to have something like Zotero or Rayon or I think it's called Kadima is another. It's an AI search created for systematic reviews. I don't want to get into teaching you how to use technology because you can also do it just by hand, but just by looking through and see, oh, what have you got? What have I got? What are the duplicates that we have? And then weeding out the duplicates until you have all the articles pertaining to your particular topic. When it comes down to it, when you go to do your literature review, there's not a set number. In School of OT, we've had everything from 15 to 150 articles on a topic, just depending on what's out there. But that's just a quick review. I hope that is helpful to you, and I will see you in class.